Hi, I'm Eric Brennan, and welcome to the House of Literary Madness, a show that brings you original poetry, poetry from the past, and also short stories from original sources and short stories from the past. And today I'll be reading one of my poems, and then we'll be moving into reading a short story from Gene Wilder. Yes, the Gene Wilder from Willy Wonka, the Gene Wilder from Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles. Amazing actor. God rest his soul. So let's start off with my poem. My poem has no title. We always compare beautiful things to dreams, ugly things to nightmares. It's because anything can happen in a dream. Extreme. Perhaps it's a subconscious faith that creates. I feel maybe artists walk sometimes faster and slower than most. Either they're chasing a dream or they are weighed down by too many great, wonderful ideas. If you're writing, write on a page with a pen. You should start to notice the smell of the ink. Make love to the page. I can't remember the last time I've written a poem. There's a lot of beautiful things I wish I could remember. When I opened my mouth and words glided through the night like artificially lit spiderwebs in the wind. The Japanese word for wind is kaze. Women are like a cool midnight breeze whispering in your ear, konnichiwa. I never thought I'd be this old and still be looking for it. I suppose we'll always be looking for something. Maybe we should call that poem Always Looking for Something. And now, moving on to the wonderful Gene Wilder. And this is from his book, which is called What Is This Thing Called Love? So it's short stories by Gene Wilder. And this one is called My Old Flame. In 1983, Buddy Silberman was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, having dinner with the Silberman family and a few of his old friends. When he finished eating, joking and laughing, he got lonely. He couldn't get his old girlfriend Shirley out of his mind ever since his Aunt Clarabelle said at dinner, "Buddy, I bumped into your old flame yesterday. She's coloring hair on Capitol Drive, a new place called Lovely to look at." Buddy hadn't seen Shirley for 3.5 years after he sorta dumped her. Shirley wasn't a beauty or a knockout or a honey. She was a simple, very pleasant, ordinary girl with a ordinary brownish hair and an attractive body. He liked her, but not in the way that she cared for him. He was never in love with Shirley, or anyone else for that matter. He was just in sex with her. But as long as I'm back in Milwaukee for a few days, what the hell? Why not give Shirley a call? He said to himself. See if she's married or something. He looked up the telephone number of the beauty parlor and dialed. When he heard Shirley's voice, he said, "Hey, good looking, what's new?" "Who is this?" "Buddy Silberman, remember me? The tall, good-looking guy you used to have a crush on a few years ago?" "Where are you?" Shirley asked in an unfriendly tone in her voice. "I'm in Milwaukee. I came all this way to see you and to see if you were married or still a honey." "Who died?" "What do you mean nobody died? I just happened to be here." "Then why are you here?" Shirley asked. "Well, I had a little business and I thought I could kill two birds with one stone." "And I am one of those birds?" Shirley asked. No, I mean, come on, Shirley. I just wondered if I could get to see you and if you were free tonight, And if you still like me and wouldn't mind a porterhouse steak and the best bottle of wine you've ever had since you saw me last. Are you looking to shtup me tonight, buddy? No, Shirley, be fair. I'm trying to pay you compliments and you're throwing hot coals at me. Don't you know when I'm trying to be funny? You always used to. You haven't changed much, buddy. Oh, yeah, I have. I promise you. I moved to LA and I grew up a little. I'm a smarter and deeper schmuck than I was before. And I get lonely when I think about you. Is that so terrible? After a long pause, Shirley said, "There's lots of people waiting to be colored. I've got to get back to them, buddy." "Can I please see you again, Shirley? I really do miss you, and the steak is real good." Silence for a moment. Then Shirley said, "I wonder if you have changed." "Does that mean yes for the porterhouse? You're not only going to hurt my feelings again, are you, buddy?" "That's the opposite." After another pause, Shirley said, "I get off at 6, but I want to go home first and shower and get dressed and everything. You can pick me up at 7. Where'd you want to go?" "I thought the Tuscany Steakhouse, if you still like that place," Buddy asked. "That's fine. I'll see you at 7. I'm in the same house, Buddy." "See you later, alligator," Buddy answered. True to his word, Buddy ordered a 22-ounce border steak for two, plus a bottle of Chateau Magdalena, his new favorite wine, and one of the only wines he could remember the name of. He and Shirley each had a martini of shrimp, which was just a shrimp cocktail served in a martini glass, and then they both ate their shrimp with absolute vodka. Like old times, Shirley. "I'm happy you called, buddy. If only you could stay this way." Ifs, and buts were candy and nuts, the world would be a fruit tree, Buddy said. And if he had just made up his little saying, excuse me, as if he had just made up his little saying on the spur of the moment. "That's what you used to say to me 4 years ago," Shirley said, not unkindly, but with an ironic smile. "Oh well, I still feel the same way," Buddy answered. "About me or the candy and nuts?" Shirley asked. "Both. I'm a poet, Shirley. That's my way of expressing my feelings about you." Buddy reached over and held Shirley's free hand. When the sommelier, I don't know if I know that word, it's Sommelier, when the sommelier, som, sommelier, I can't do that word, somebody help me. When the blank arrived and poured a little wine into a glass for Buddy to test, Buddy said, "This beautiful lady is my wine sommel. Let her decide if it's any good." The sommelier offered the glass to Shirley. When she took a sip, her eyes lit up. "This will be fine," Shirley said to the sommelier. She took Buddy's hand and said quietly, "Buddy, this is a wonderful wine, thank you." Their steak arrived. It had been carved into perfectly even slices, going from medium to rare. Shirley's face was filled with awe after her first bite. "I haven't eaten meat like this in a long time, Buddy." "Stick with me, kid," Buddy said as he chewed on a mouthful of steak and asparagus au gratin. When they finished eating the steak, Buddy asked, "What do you like for dessert, Shirley?" "The cherries Jubilee? You used to love that." "I couldn't eat any more, Buddy. I'm stuffed and everything was delicious. Just a cup of coffee would be great." "Me too. Don't want to get too full tonight." "Not tonight," Buddy said with a smile and a wink. Buddy pulled up to Shirley's house in his rented Cadillac. When he opened the front door and stepped in her living room, Buddy started to follow. But Shirley stopped him. "Not tonight, Buddy." "Wait a minute. What happened? Did I do something wrong? No, tonight you didn't do anything wrong. I just want to remember how lovely this evening has been in case I never see you again. But good night, Buddy, and thank you again. Shirley gave Buddy a quick kiss on the cheek, went into her house, and shut the door. For 20 or 30 seconds, Buddy stood next to his rented Cadillac, trying to understand what had happened. He felt as if he had just seen a French film without subtitles. A week later, in Los Angeles, Buddy and Sonny were having lunch at Junior's Delicatessen. You're morose, Buddy. I'm not a moron, and I don't even say that to. I'm not a moron, and don't ever say that to me again. I didn't call you a moron, jerk. I just wondered why you were so sad today. I got some strange thoughts running through my head that you don't know anything about, Sonny. Buddy took a sip of his Dr. Brown's cream soda as his eyes drifted off into space. Well, you'll feel better if you tell me about that strange thought. I'm your friend, talk to me. It's about my old girlfriend, Shirley. The girl from Milwaukee, Sonny asked. Yeah, my old flame, Buddy said quietly as he took a bite of his corned beef sandwich. What's up? Sonny asked. I'm up in the air. I saw Shirley last week and got that old feeling. We had a nice time, but she wouldn't come across. She said I hurt her feelings when I dumped her 4 years ago, and she doesn't want to go through that again. You blame her for that? Sonny asked. No, that's the trouble. I blame myself for being such a moron. She's a good girl and very sweet and always kind to everyone, and we always had a nice time together, and then I screwed up. Now I've lost her. Are you in love, Buddy? How the hell would I know, Buddy? How the hell would I know? Buddy said angrily. Well, Buddy, I'm the one who can help you, Sonny said with authority. Thank you, Doctor. Start helping. Why don't you invite her out? You pay for the trip, spend a little time with her, take her to some nice restaurants, stay at your apartment a lot, and see what it's like to be alone with her. Cook with her, watch TV together. Maybe that way you could see how deep the water is. You're smart, Buddy said. You're a smart son of a bitch, Sonny. Coming from you, that's almost a compliment, Sonny replied. I got the idea, Buddy said, as if lightning had just struck. What if I tell her? Or I got an idea. What if I tell her that I suddenly got an opening in my schedule, and how about if she came out and visited me and stayed at my place just for a week, and I'll pay for everything, tickets and everything, and I'll take her to a nice restaurant and make her happy as a clam. I don't know why the hell clams should be happy, but it sounds good. What do you think, Sonny? You hit the jackpot, kid. That night, the telephone rang in Sonny's apartment. Sonny Horwitz speaking. It worked, Buddy said with a rare burst of excitement in his voice. She's coming here this Saturday, and she's going to stay till next Saturday. Congratulations. Now get some plants and flowers and spread them all around your living room and bedroom. Maybe even in the kitchen. In the kitchen, what for? To make your apartment seem romantic instead of looking like a better parlor for football and horse races. A betting parlor. And turn off the television set in your bedroom when she arrives. Okay, you're the doctor. I hope this works, Buddy said and hung up. 5 days later, Buddy called Sonny from a drugstore. Sonny Hurwitz speaking. I'm going nuts. What's the matter, Sonny asked. You said everything was hunky-dory. The first night, yes, Buddy said with some desperation in his voice. But now I can't get rid of her. But this is just Tuesday. She doesn't leave until Saturday. I know it. That's what's driving me nuts, Buddy shrieked. All right, calm down and tell me what seems to be wrong. Buddy took a few deep breaths and then started calmly. I got brand new tubes of Colgate toothpaste. She uses Arm& and Hammer. I want to see Bruce Willis in Die Hard flicks, and she wants to see Little Women. I like to watch television at least till 1 a.m. She wants to go to sleep at with lights out at 10:30. I like coffee in the morning. She likes tea. I like steak and chops for dinner. She likes fish most of the time. Beef is okay, but just once in a while, she says. I tell you what, I gotta get her out of here, or I'll have a conniption. Sonny thought for a while before answering. Who invited her, buddy? Yeah, I know you were gonna say that. So what, you want me to go crazy? Buddy asked, as if he were the most reasonable man in the world. No, Sonny answered softly. I want you to be the decent, compassionate gentleman that I know you can be. Yes, Mama, I'll be a good boy. I'll just tell her that someone died in Florida and I have to. No, none of that stuff, Sonny said. You can be a gentleman for 3 more days. It won't kill you. But don't hurt that girl again, buddy. You mustn't hurt her again. Sonny's words got to Buddy. He was a gentleman with heartburn for 3 more days. On Saturday, he took Shirley to the airport for her 10 a.m. flight to Milwaukee. When it came time to say goodbye, Shirley looked at him with soft compassion in her eyes. I know my visit was difficult for you, Buddy. What are you talking about, Buddy answered, as if he had never heard of anything so absurd in his life. It was joy. You know, I'm a little nuts sometimes, Shirley. I think business worries got to me, and I think I took it out on you once in a while, but I loved every minute you were here. You told me once that you would never lie to me, she said softly. You told me once you would never lie to me. Don't start now. It was one of those things I admired most about you. Most people lie all the time. Buddy didn't or couldn't answer. He looked away from Shirley's eyes like a puppy who knows it has done a bad thing. Shirley leaned over and kissed him gently on the cheek. Thank you for a wonderful time, she said, then turned and walked down the ramp to her plane. 3 months passed. This time, someone in Milwaukee did die. Buddy's older school chum and fellow gambler, Lenny Fisher. Buddy decided to go to the funeral. While he was packing his suitcase, the memory of Shirley passed through Buddy's mind several times, quickly, but so pleasantly that the memory reached his heart. Why not call her while you're in Milwaukee, he thought. Either she wants to see me again, or she says get lost. All right, I wouldn't blame her if she did, but I want to see her. No porterhouse steak and wine, Maloney. I really do want to see her again. And I'll tell her I'm not lying. Not to her or myself. Buddy called the beauty parlor where she worked. His heart was thumping loudly as he waited for her to come to the phone. Then he heard her voice. This is Shirley. Shirley, this is Buddy Silverman. Buddy, what a surprise. Where are you? I'm still in Los Angeles, but I'm leaving for Milwaukee today. This time, somebody did die. My old friend Lenny Fisher. That fat man who smoked 3 packs a day? Shirley asked. That's the schmuck. 58 years old. Anyway, I just want to let you know that I'll be in town for a few days. And I don't know how to say this, but Buddy, I'm married. Do you remember the man who owned a bicycle shop on Burleigh Street? Near the Sherman movie theater, David somebody, Buddy asked, trying to sound normal. That's right, Davy Putnam. We went together for 2 months and then he suddenly popped the question. I really liked him, Buddy. I mean, I love him. But I also like him so much and I'm very happy. Well, I'm bursting with happiness for you, Shirley. The two of you should make a great couple, and, well, you'll finally learn how to ride a bicycle, won't you? Yes, I will. I better go now. There's a whole crowd waiting for me to do their hair. Take care of yourself, buddy. You bet, Buddy answered. He waited a few seconds after Shirley hung up, and then slowly placed the phone back into its cradle. That was The Old Flame by Gene Wilder. I think it's called that. My Old Flame by Gene Wilder from the book What Is This Thing Called Love? I just love stories that basically show us how love is confusing. You care deeply for someone, but are you in love with them? And how do you know? I think that's the question. I mean, love is a mystery. Ultimately, it's a commitment. And I think things like poetry and literature help us keep perspective, and they can help us stay romantic and give us new ideas. And I think ultimately, if you fall in love with someone's mind, there's got to be some sensual attraction, of course. But who knows? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this first episode of The House of Literary Madness with Eric Brennan. I'm going to have a co-host very soon. Her name is Audrey, and we're going to talk more about poetry and read more short stories. And if you have a poem and you want to send it to us, maybe we can read it. But I hope you guys have a good night and read a book tonight, baby.